What is up, my dudes? Today we are making soft tacos. Now before I start, I just want to say I'm looking a little chubby today, but you know what? That's okay. There's no fat shaming on here, no judging. Okay. So 4 days ago, my friend Rajashri saw that I cooked something on my Instagram, so then she replied, "Cook for me." Now I seriously considered cooking her something and surprising her with it, so I asked if she had any specific requests, and she said tacos, so I decided to make soft tacos. Now I've never made soft tacos before. I literally winged all of this. I did not look on Pinterest. I just did what I thought I could. I asked her if she's a fan of vegetables like bell peppers and if she's a fan of beans because I'm a vegetarian and I cannot cook with meat, so I had to make an all-vegetarian soft tacos, which was pretty simple to be honest. She was confused as to why I was asking all of these questions, but I never clued her in. Now let's go over all the ingredients I used to make these soft tacos. Now these are the main ingredients I used. These are tortillas. I know they're called tortillas. I like to call them tortillas. I also used pink beans because, you know, they look pretty, or red. I don't know. I might be colorblind. Ginger garlic paste. I used a green bell pepper, a red bell pepper, and then half an onion. I planned on using 1.5, but that would have been too much. And don't worry, I cleaned everything with a Clorox wipe. Then I used some tomato paste, also cleaned the onion. You see that? Proof. And here's my mom struggling to open a can of tomato paste. After doing some cool Bollywood dance moves with my big size tortillas, I decided to cut them into little tortillas because that's what small tacos are all about. I'm doing a voiceover for this whole video. I planned on speaking, but my mother and my sister do not understand privacy and were speaking at an ungodly volume, so here we are. So I just took whatever tortillas I had left in my fridge and cut them into smaller tortillas and even smaller tortillas. I even cut 2 tiny baby ones. You know, it's really funny how people think I know what I'm doing when I'm cooking, but I really don't. I mess up a lot. I try to put a shit ton of spices to cover up my mistakes, and most of the time that works. I saw that I have a lot of tortilla scraps left over, so I decided to make chips out of them. Here's me starting to cut all the vegetables I need for my gravy. I always have my pinkies up whenever I do anything. Does anybody else go through that? Like, I'll be drinking tea and my pinky is up. I'll be showering and my pinky is up. I'll just sit there and my pinky's like, what is it with the pinkies? Fun fact, while I was cutting up these veggies, I started to recite the whole Kenny Sebastian, the most interesting person in the room Netflix comedy show. I've seen it 4 times through and through, so I pretty much remember most of the funny parts. The most interesting part to me is the one about the ostrich, the second most fastest animal in the world. If you know me and you're on my private Instagram, you know that I love to cook, and every time I cook something, you know, not special, but like just like elaborate, I guess you would say, I have many people that comment like, "Oh my god, you're like such a chef," and whatever, and meanwhile Gordon Ramsay is looking through a screen yelling at me for everything I'm doing wrong. If you're wondering what this is a spice box, also known as a masala dabba. Every Indian has this, and if you don't, well then you're really not Indian. I put turmeric powder, red chili powder, jeera seeds, which is also known as cumin seeds, and dhania powder, which is known as coriander powder. I added these spices in after putting a little olive oil and putting the chopped onions in and sauteing them for a while. After that, I then added some ginger garlic paste. Fun fact, you're supposed to do that before you put all the spices in, so my mother got mad at me, but that's alright. Then I put the tomato paste in. I put almost 3/4 of that can. This is what it looks like so far, pretty snazzy. Then I added my chopped bell peppers. I don't think I mentioned this, but it was pouring very heavy while I was doing this, and there was a lot of thunder, and this was the exact moment that a crackle of thunder struck our neighbor's driveway. Then I just let my veggies sit in and cook before I added the beans. I know I look miserable while cooking. That's just my concentration face. I think it would be kind of weird to just smile throughout cooking. I was, really putting effort and thoughts into, oh wow, look at that. That's beautiful. I then noticed that my sauce was looking a little dry, so I decided to add water little by little. Here's a little tip. If you're going to put water to make your, gravy saucy, you should do it, in little increments, because if you put too much at a time, it might not cook well and it might turn out to be watery. So that's why you have to put it, little by little. Then decided to taste the sauce to see how it was going, and if my face does not tell you how amazing it turned out, I don't know what to tell you. For adding my beans into the pan, I decided to add rajma masala. This is a masala you use whenever you cook rajma beans. For people that don't know, how do you say that in English? It's just like, your regular canned black beans or red beans. You just use that masala for that. Here they go, the beans in the pan. Wow. Then added some salt because flavor does not come without salt. I don't really understand those diets where you have to go without salt. I mean, all food needs salt. It's like savory food. How do you eat those foods without salt? I would like to have a moment of silence here just to appreciate the beauty of this stuffing. I then mixed everything one last time before packing it away into a tinfoil rectangular box thingy. You know those things that your mother puts food in to bring for Teacher Appreciation Day? You know that thing? Anybody know what I'm talking about? No? Alright. In the same pan, I put a little olive oil and decided to make my chips in there just so that they have like the same taste, like the same spice, essence or whatever that the taco stuffing had. Hey, did I mention that I was winging this? Yeah, I did this all on my own. Thank you very much. I then dumped everything onto a plate with a paper towel so that all the, excess oil could get soaked up because we don't like excess oil. That's just acne waiting to happen. Then took a little victory lap around the kitchen because I was proud of myself, as I should be. Last thing I did on the stove was heat the tortillas a little bit because what are friends for? Heating up your little tortillas. And packed away the tortillas in a little container that came from ShopRite. I first put the bigger size tortillas at the bottom, then put a paper towel on top of that, and put the smaller sized one on top of that, then put a paper towel on top of that. And then I decided to put the chips that I made on top, and that was the layout of that. Then decided to pack a little Mexican blend cheese because you can't just assume that everyone has cheese in their house. I think that's a bit immature. So yeah, after packing that and putting cute little notes on top of everything to, let her know what I put in everything in case she has any allergy. I mean, it's a bit late for that. Made sure to confirm she was home before going because we live in different towns, so it'd be kind of a waste to drive half an hour and then, realize she's not there anyways. Look at my little bag, how cute. I'm standing outside of her house and this is really awkward. Hi. I made you soft tacos.
Oh my God. I love you so much. Can I hug you?
Yeah.
I love you so much. You're the best. You're literally the best.
I know. Say hi.
Hi.
Okay.
I love you.
There's 104 days of summer vacation and school comes along just to end it. And the annual problem of our generation is finding a good way to spend it. Like maybe building a rocket or finding a mummy or climbing up the Eiffel Tower.